Okay, so get this, dolphins and humans working together to catch fish. You might think I'm making this up, but it's actually happening
Mm,
in Laguna, Brazil.
right.
We're going to do a deep dive today. We have this super interesting article from Science News all about it.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing example of what we call mutualism. That's where both species benefit, from the relationship.
It's like a win-win situation, right? For both the dolphins and the humans.
Exactly.
So, okay, how does this whole thing actually work? Like, can you paint me a picture?
All right, so picture this. Okay. The sun is setting over southern Brazil, right?
Yeah.
The water has this warm glow.
I can see it now.
Beautiful, right? A pod of dolphins. They're herding a school of mullet, pushing them towards the shallows where the fishermen are waiting with their nets.
Wow, so the dolphins are like shepherds, basically,
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
guiding the fish right into the waiting nets. That's incredible. But how do the fishermen know when it's the right moment to cast their nets?
Ah, that's the really cool part. The dolphins actually signal to the fishermen.
No way.
Yeah, they give them a signal like when the perfect moment is.
What, like a secret dolphin handshake or something?
Well, not quite a handshake, but they do things like slap their tails on the water really hard. It's a very specific kind of slap.
Ah.
Sometimes they do a sudden dive, all synchronized.
Wow.
They even make some vocalizations. And the fishermen, well, they've learned to recognize all of these signals over generations.
It's like they speak the same language.
Yeah, it really is like a shared language. They understand each other. They know what the other one's going to do.
I can't even imagine what it must be like to be one of those fishermen out there on the water, like working side by side with these intelligent creatures.
I can tell you it's a pretty amazing experience.
Yeah.
The fishermen, they have a deep respect for the dolphins, and their abilities. They know that the success of the whole hunt depends on both sides trusting each other and cooperating.
It's proof that we can work together with nature, not just try to dominate it. But okay, how did scientists figure all of this out? Did they just, watch it all from the shore?
Well, watching helped, but they wanted to see the nitty-gritty details, right? So they needed a better way. So what did they do? They started using drones.
Drones, really?
Yeah, high-tech drones with awesome cameras.
Yeah.
They filmed the dolphins during the mullet migration season, got a bird's-eye view of the whole thing.
Wow, like a dolphin reality show?
That's funny. Yeah, sort of. So out of all the interactions they recorded, I think it was 45.
45, okay.
Yeah, and 9 of those was successful hunts for the fishermen. But the cool thing is, they could actually see what the dolphins were doing when the fishermen were successful.
So they figured out a pattern, like what the dolphins did that meant the fishermen would get a good catch.
Exactly. They focused on 3 things. First, how close together the dolphins were swimming when they came up to the surface. Second, whether they were all swimming in the same direction. And last, were they all diving at the same time?
So when the dolphins were all close, swimming in the same direction and diving together, that meant the fishermen would get more fish.
Yeah. It basically created a trap,
A dolphin trap.
a fish trap, like an underwater net made of dolphins. And then the fishermen could easily scoop them up. That's why it's so rare to see this kind of teamwork between top predators.
It makes sense. It takes a lot of smarts, communication, and trust. You don't see that every day in the animal kingdom, especially between different species.
Right. And think about it. For this to happen here, there must be a really long history behind it.
It's like a hidden language.
And finding out how this happened here could help us understand how animals cooperate and how we can use resources better.
That's a really cool thought. So they used drones and could see what the dolphins were doing, but how did they figure out what the dolphins were thinking?
Well, now they're bringing in the big guns, artificial intelligence, or AI.
Whoa, really?
Yep. Now they're using AI to analyze all that video they got.
So it's like AI is their dolphin decoder ring, unlocking all the secrets.
Kind of. The AI can pick out each individual dolphin, track their movements, really precisely, and then it matches those movements with what the fishermen are doing and if they were successful.
So they're not just watching anymore. Now they can measure exactly what the dolphins are doing and why.
Exactly. That's how they figure out what the dolphins are deciding to do.
So they're translating dolphin language.
It's getting us closer to understanding how dolphins think and communicate. And that's just the beginning. Now they're working on even more advanced AI. This new AI will be able to analyze their voices, how they interact, and even their facial expressions.
That's crazy. We're going to be fluent in dolphins soon.
Maybe. But seriously, this is opening up a whole new world of understanding about how smart dolphins are.
This is blowing my mind. We've seen how this incredible partnership works, all the communication, the tech they're using to figure it out. But can this even survive? I mean, with all the pollution, overfishing, and climate change.
Ah, the million-dollar question. That's what we'll talk about in the next part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more about this amazing world of dolphin-human teamwork.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We're talking about those awesome dolphins and fishermen working together in Brazil.
Yeah, it's amazing. They've been doing this for so long, probably generations, maybe even centuries.
It really makes you think, right? But there are some pretty serious threats to this whole partnership. We've got pollution, overfishing.
And climate change, too.
Right, climate change. It affects everything. Laguna, Brazil is no different.
Yeah, no place is safe from it, really. So how could climate change mess up this whole dolphin-human thing?
Well, rising sea levels are a huge problem. When the sea level rises, it changes the currents and how salty the water is. And that can really disrupt the whole ecosystem.
It's like a domino effect.
Exactly. And it can hurt the mullet population. That's the fish both the dolphins and the fishermen depend on.
So less food for everyone.
Right. But rising sea levels are just one part of the problem. Ocean acidification is another big one. That's when the ocean becomes more acidic, and it's bad news for shellfish and other creatures in the food chain. Plus, the warmer water temperatures can change where the fish go, making it harder for the dolphins and fishermen to find them.
So it's like everything is connected and climate change is messing it all up. It sounds pretty bad. Is there any hope for this partnership?
Well, it's definitely a serious situation, but there's always hope. Scientists and the people in Laguna are working together to try and protect this unique collaboration.
Well, that's good to hear. What are they doing?
They're focusing on sustainable fishing, for one thing. Working with the fishermen to make sure they use nets that won't accidentally catch dolphins and fishing techniques that won't hurt other species.
Smart fishing, basically.
Yep. They're also trying to set up marine protected areas. Those are areas where fishing is limited or completely banned. It gives the ecosystem a chance to recover and thrive.
It makes sense. But is it enough? Climate change is a global problem. I mean, what can these local efforts really do?
You're right. Local efforts alone won't solve climate change. We need global action to protect the oceans and everything in them, including this amazing partnership.
It all comes back to that, huh? We need to cut down on greenhouse gases, find renewable energy sources, and make better choices every day.
Okay, let's get back to the science side of things. We talked about using drones and AI to study the dolphins. I want to know more about that. What kind of data are they getting and what are they learning from it?
All right, so the drones have these amazing cameras that film the dolphins while they're herding fish and working with the fishermen.
High-def dolphin action.
Totally. And then they use AI to analyze all those videos. It's like having a million eyes watching everything.
So the AI is like a super observer, but what's it looking for?
It's programmed to identify individual dolphins, follow their movements, and figure out their behavior patterns.
Is it like reading their minds? Well, not quite. But it can detect tiny changes in their swimming speed, which way they're going, and how deep they dive.
It's incredible how much detail they can capture. What have they found out from all this AI stuff?
One really cool thing is that dolphins seem to have different personalities when it comes to hunting.
Wait, what? Dolphin personalities?
Yeah, some dolphins are bolder. They like to take charge and lead the fish towards the fishermen. Others are more laid back. They follow the leaders. And some are even a bit lazy. They just wait for the fish to come to them.
So it's not just a big blob of dolphins. They're all individuals with their own quirks. That's awesome.
And the AI helps us map out how they work together, how their personalities contribute to a successful hunt.
So it's not just about their movements, but the reasons behind them. It's like they're figuring out dolphin social intelligence. And what about that Fitbit for dolphins thing we talked about? Are they still working on that?
Oh, yeah. They're making progress. It'll be a device that attaches to the dolphin's dorsal, the fin on their back.
I know what a dorsal fin is.
All right. Anyway, it'll have sensors to monitor their heart rate, breathing, temperature, even brain activity.
That would be amazing. We could see how their bodies handle the stress of the hunt, how their brains work in real time, even how they communicate with each other on a physical level.
It would be huge for understanding dolphins. But we have to be careful, There are ethical implications to consider as we develop this technology.
That's a great point. We'll dive into those ethical considerations in the next part of our deep dive. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been talking about this awesome partnership between dolphins and fishermen in Brazil. It's a story that shows how connected we are to the natural world.
Yeah, for sure. We've learned how this collaboration works, the science behind it, and now we have to talk about the ethics of it all.
Exactly. We're getting a better understanding of how smart these dolphins are and what they can do, but we have to be careful about how we interact with them, especially when we're using them to help us.
Absolutely. It's a really important conversation to have.
So let's just come right out and say it. What are some of the ethical concerns about this whole dolphin-human fishing thing?
Well, one of the biggest worries is exploitation. Are we taking advantage of the dolphins, using their instincts and intelligence just for our own benefit? Are we really making sure it's a fair deal for them, too?
That's a good question. We know that the dolphins catch more fish because of this partnership, but how do we know we're not messing with their natural behavior or putting them in danger?
Well, that's where responsible practices and rules come in. Like, the Brazilian government has rules about when people can fish, especially during the mullet migration season. That's to protect the dolphins and the fish they eat.
So there are some safeguards in place, at least.
Yeah, but rules aren't always enough.
Yeah.
We need to change our thinking. We need to see these dolphins as more than just resources. They're intelligent creatures that deserve our respect.
It's about having empathy, understanding that these animals have value just for existing, not just for what they can do for us.
That's it exactly. The more we learn about dolphins, how smart they are, their complex social lives, the more likely we are to treat them with the respect they deserve.
What about the research side of things? What are the ethical things to think about when using drones and AI to study these animals?
With the drones, we got to make sure we're not bothering the dolphins too much.
Yeah.
We don't want to disrupt their natural behavior or stress them out. Their well-being has to come first.
Makes sense. We shouldn't be hurting them just because we're curious.
And with AI, it can get tricky. Just because the AI can spot patterns and label behaviors doesn't mean dolphins experience the world the same way we do. We have to be careful about thinking they're just like us.
So we shouldn't try to put human thoughts and feelings onto them.
Right. We need to respect that they're different, that they have their own way of seeing and interacting with the world.
This whole discussion about ethics is so important. It's a reminder that we have a responsibility to be careful, respectful, and humble when we explore the natural world.
Yeah, we need to remember that we're all connected, humans and all living things. And we should try to live together peacefully.
This deep dive has been incredible. We've learned so much about this partnership between dolphins and fishermen, the science, the challenges, and the ethical stuff we can't ignore.
It's a story that shows the power of working together, the importance of science, and doing things the right way.
This story has been really inspiring. It makes you want to learn more and protect this amazing planet and all the creatures on it.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you're walking away with a new appreciation for our planet and its inhabitants.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions. And remember, always think about how your actions affect the natural world.